Welcome to the Joy to the World Holiday Wine Match, Red, White, and Festive Food. I'm joined today by three very festive wine lovers who are already getting into the spirits of the season. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and maybe recall a memory or two of a memorable Christmas or holiday wine that they've had in the past. Sarah, I'm going to start with you. Let us know where you are and maybe a wine that you remember from holidays past.
All right. Well, happy holidays, everyone. My name is Sarah Mantle. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I have a wine blog called Got to Get You Into My Belly, and the site link is mantles@blogspot.ca. And one memorable wine that we've had was actually recently. We celebrated our holiday dinner just this past weekend with my parents in town. They're from Ontario, so we don't get to see them for the holidays very often. And the one wine that my father, my husband, and myself all really raved about was Chateau Beaumont's 2008 Cru Bourgeois. It was just beautiful. It went with lots of food, and it was like a holiday party in my mouth.
Sounds great. All right. I guess go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, sorry. And with that, I will pass the decanter on to Kirsty.
Hi, my name's Kirsty Gardner. I'm in Toronto, Ontario. I also have a blog. It's called gastronomicalsovereignty.com, and that's a mouthful, so I'll let you Google it. And and if even if you're close, it'll come up. My most memorable wine, I think, would probably have to be. It's not one that you can buy in the liquor stores. Actually, my parents have been brewing their own wine for a really long time. Ooh. And they thought it, yeah, and they thought it would be a good idea to try a white port a couple years ago, and it was terrible. It was awful. It was the worst thing I've ever had, and and they kept trying to pass it off to their friends and family as this amazing wine, and it wasn't good at all. But it was funny. So that's my most memorable wine that I've had. And with that, I'll pass it on to Adam.
Hi, my name's Adam Bauer. I am from Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. I live in Halifax. I'm joining you actually this evening from the historic Halifax Club, right in the waterfront of the Atlantic. For me, memories of Christmas time, I can't help but think about the 4-liter box of Hochtaler. My grandmother always had that in her fridge. It's a white wine. If you look for the grape varietal, it's selected grapes. So, but I wasn't old enough to drink wine back then. By the time I was, we had already lived in France when I was 13, and then my parents started buying a bottle of Chateauneuf de Pape that actually looked like it was aged in a cave. It was a deformed bottle, and luckily enough, I got to experience that over the holidays by the time I was old enough to drink. So that really brings back holiday memories for me, and I still keep a bottle in my wine rack just to, for the nostalgia feeling.
You're so sentimental, Adam. And Adam, speaking of that, you look like you're ready to host your own Christmas special there with that set.
I know. I should have had the sweater on. I thought about it.
Yeah, the cardigan. That's great.
Next year.
Okay. All right. Well, your memories are close to mine. I also grew up on the East Coast, as you know, Adam, and we had that special wine in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
It was usually left over from Easter, and they brought it out at Christmas, and of course we were Scottish. It was beer and whiskey, so wine wasn't too memorable, and needless to say, I didn't go back to it till my late 20s. But anyway, we are here to celebrate friends, family, and great wine and holiday food, and that's what this match is all about. So over the course of the next 9 days, I hope you'll join us in nominating your favorite holiday wines, and they could be from around the world, Canada of course, but any country, under $25. And what we want to try to find is those that are easy to buy and affordable, like in your local liquor store, so that, we're going to crowdsource, in effect, the ultimate holiday wine shopping list so that we can all pour like Santa but save like Scrooge. So to add an extra element of fun to this competition, we're pairing these wines with different holiday dishes from different cultures and traditions. So we're going to kick this off with Moroccan lamb, which is part of the celebrations that's part of the Islamic calendar. And I'm going to go to Sarah, who has a pairing for Moroccan lamb, that savory stew. Sarah.
Yes, I do have a pairing for that. we're big lamb eaters in this family, and in the Moroccan stew, you also find a lot of spice. So a great pairing for that would be a Shiraz from Australia. The one that I have here is Nugan Estate. It's out of Maclean Vale, just a small region in Africa. It's the 2010. And it's very full-bodied, so it can stand up to the robust flavors of the lamb. And it's got great flavors of spice as well as a little bit of fruit in there, which also pairs well with the spices in the dish. And the bottle is $25. It is at the upper end of the scale for the contest. However, it is definitely worth the money.
That sounds great, Sarah. And I think you meant to say Australia, right? That wine's from Australia?
Yes.
Yes.
Did I not? Did I say?
It was a slip of the tongue, Africa. But
oh, sorry.
both value regions, really great stuff, and that's a good wine. I recognize it. Okay, great. Let us go now to Christy. Christy, I think you're talking about the Portuguese-Italian holiday dish, bacala. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I chose, for bacala, I chose the Evolution by Sokol Blosser. I put a little, oh, where are we? There we go. I put a little bow on it. It's, thanks. It's a different blend of grapes. I think there's 9 in the bottle, and it varies from year to year. So you get different things like Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, what else is in there? Gewürztraminer, just a whole mashup of different grapes. So you get a nice full body, but it's still really light, really fresh, really crisp, and it pairs really well with anything that's going to be something like fish or salt cod, which is bacala essentially. And if you were to pair it with like a tomato dish, it's got the acidity to go with that. So just in any way that you want to sort of, I guess, dress your fish, your salt cod, you're pretty much set. It goes for $16.95 in the LCBO.
Awesome price. That's great.
Yeah.
And just so folks are aware, if you are not familiar with some of these holiday dishes, now's the time to try them, because we're going to have delicious recipes on the site for these dishes so that you can experiment and get to know the food cultures of other regions and countries. Okay, Adam, a dish we all know and love, roast turkey. What have you got for roast turkey?
Yes, so I have a Dr. Zen Riesling. It is from Germany, like my ancestors. And I've lived in Canada and the U.S., so I've experienced Thanksgiving on both sides of the border. So this was a perfect pairing for me. It's a 2009 Riesling, and when you think turkey dinner, you're into stuffing, gravy, cranberry sauce, potatoes, sweet potatoes. My house, there's always cheese sauce on the table too. So it's a rich meal. It's a heavy meal. You want something that's a little lighter in alcohol. This one's 8%. And you want something that has some acidity to cut through all that richness. And you're going to get some nice honeysuckle and apple jelly, the minerality you get from Rieslings. But that sweetness, that residual sugar, is going to go great with that cranberry sauce and that sweet potato. So it's going to work really nice. It's cleansing, so it helps you get through that heavy meal, and it helps you make your way through to the final course and save some room for dessert, which you need to do on any special occasion like this.
Absolutely. It's the ultimate goal. Get through the meal, especially a meal like this.
Oh, yeah. This one goes for $18.20 in the NSLC here in Nova Scotia.
Terrific. That's a great price.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about 3 categories today, but there's another 3. There's 6 altogether because we're going to round out the holiday dishes and with our wines. So we're going to go back to Christy. Little quick round robin here, because we've also got collard greens, which is an African side dish to celebrate the Feast of Kwanzaa. So greens are always part of the table. Christy, what do you suggest with collard greens or veggies?
Well, I decided to go with a red wine for this, just because it's a little bit different from what you would normally do, like a white wine or something. So I decided to go with actually La Vieille Ferme, and I'm probably butchering that because I don't speak French at all. But it's got Syrah, it's got Grenache, it's light, it's fruity, it's bright. It'll pair well if you want to put something a little bit meaty in there, like pancetta or anything. You usually do that with Brussels sprouts. So it just works really nicely with a variety of vegetable dishes, or collard greens in this case.
That's great. Yeah, a nice pairing, unusual pairing, but yeah, I can see how it would work. Sarah, we're also looking at latkes, the potato pancake that is a traditional Jewish dish for Hanukkah. What have you got in mind for latkes?
Well, I think it's time to bring out the bubbly.
Yay.
I would recommend a sparkling wine. I'm thinking either one of our beautiful ones from the Okanagan, or you could also do it with, there's some traditional method sparkling wines that don't come from the Champagne region, but usually retail in Canada around $20. The mouth-watering acidity of the wines generally pairs well with the fattiness that you may find in the pancakes, and at the same time it also brings, there's a little bit of fruitiness to those sparkling wines that would really brighten up the dish.
That's great. Awesome. Yeah, how can we get through this discussion without bringing up bubbly? Thank you, Sarah.
Exactly.
Okay, so Adam, I want you to bring it home with a merciful wine to wash down fruitcake, that dessert that won't go away even though we might want it to.
Exactly. First, my Riesling helped you get through to the dessert, and now we're on to fruitcake. I'm going to go Australian with this, with an Australian Muscat that's been preferably fortified. So you're going to get some nice raisin characters, some orange zest. You actually get a sort of fruitcake character with a fortified Muscat as well too, and it's going to be enough sweetness there to over. You don't want the sweetness to be too heavy in the fruitcake, or it will taste bitter. So there's enough sweetness there, but it's also fairly crisp as well too. So it's going to be a nice pairing.
Terrific, and that's a good rule of thumb for any dessert. The wine should be sweeter than the dessert, or the wine will taste bitter. All right, so especially if we've got those visions of sugar plums dancing in our heads. It's a good wine to end with, Adam. All right, so just to wrap this up then, great pairings, everyone. We're going to open up the nominations today. There's only 9 days to do this. So get in there, nominate your favorite wines in the 6 categories. If you don't have a strong feeling, then vote for the favorites that you see, and get your friends and family too. Because really what we are trying to do here is put together a great holiday wine shopping list, whether it's for entertaining or gift giving, wines under $25 that taste twice as expensive as they cost. So stay tuned. On November 21st, we're going to go to a showdown phase. The top 5 wines in each category from different countries will narrow it down to those, and everybody can vote for their 5 favorites for each dish. So we'll really have a lot of fun with that. So I'd just like to raise my glass to you folks, and I hope you all have a great, festive, spirited holiday season. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Happy holidays.